Hello student, welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss here about the next topic of chapter 9, properties of bulk matter. So today we will discuss here about the topic of stress strain curve and the potential energy of stretched wire. So one by one I will discuss the all topics in front of you. So first we will discuss here about the topic stress strain curve. As you know that the relation between stress strain curve and we know that the ratio of stress over strain is called coefficient of elasticity, and in my earlier video we have discussed about the type of coefficient of elasticity, Young's modulus of elasticity, or it is also known as modulus of elasticity, and bulk modulus, and next one modulus of rigidity. So after the whole discussion about the basic points of this chapter, here we will discuss about the stress strain curve. So before discussion about the stress strain curve, let us draw the stress strain curve. So student, let's start the discussion about the stress strain curve on the basis of this stress strain curve diagram. So diagram is in front of you. For saving time, I have drawn this diagram in front of you. So first, when we explain this stress strain explanation of stress strain curve theory, as we know that initially we are seeing here the graph O to A. Under this stress strain curve, the graph O to A represent us a straight line. So this straight line represent us the stress is directly proportional to strain, or initially you can say strain is directly proportional to stress, means stress and strain both are proportional to each other. So here this graph represent us Hooke's law, means from the given graph of or given curve of stress strain, the graph OA represent straight line. It means stress is directly proportional to the strain. Point clear? And this curve OA completely obeys the Hooke's law. Point clear, student? So after this we can say, if, as we know that when we apply some deforming force on the given wire, the length of the wire increases along the direction of deforming force. If the force is normally inward direction, it will decrease along the direction of force. So overall the strain will comes into play if the deforming force is there. So here when we apply the deforming force, means stress, in the given wire, because here we are talking about the discussion of a wire. So when we apply the stress on the given material wire, then the strain is also there. And here, because this line O to A is a straight line, so it means that stress is directly proportional to strain. We can say, when we say stress is directly proportional to strain, it means that that curve OA obeys 100% or completely Hooke's law. So if this wire obey Hooke's law, so after removing, in this condition, after removing, we can add one thing. After removing the deforming force, which is here weights on the free end of the wire, which is suspended through a rigid source, after removing the deforming force, the wire regain its original length or configuration. Point clear? So it means that this point represent us, therefore point A represent proportional limit. Point clear? This is the explanation of the curve O to A. Now in second point, when we talk beyond the point A, on applying more deforming force, or you can say on applying deforming force beyond this point, on applying deforming force, point clear? On applying the deforming force, the strain increases, but as you are seeing here, A to B, this is our B point, A to B is not a straight line, increases not but not in proportional limit, but not in proportional behavior. As you are seeing, you can see here the graph is not a straight line from A to B, so it is not representing here proportional behavior of the wire, means proportional behavior between stress and strain. So but after removing the deforming force, if in this point if we remove the deforming force, the body, or you can say the wire, regain its original configuration, means the wire cover the path from B to A to O, means path we can write here in bracket configuration, or follow the path, follow the path BAO. Point clear? This is the explanation from the point O to B. So here the point B, we can add one thing, point B is called the point of elastic limit, or you can say the point B correspond to, or is called, you can write one thing, is called elastic limit point. Point clear? So in this point B, the elastic behavior is there. So B is our elastic limit point. Point clear? And after this, the point B, we will discuss beyond this point B. If we increase the value of stress, we will see that the value of strain increases, but the value of strain, the increasing in strain is more than applied deforming force or stress. That's why the curve form is there from B to point C. Let us discuss this thing after this. So for that, pause the video and note down. Next one, third point, beyond point B, if we apply the force on, can say the weight on the given wire, we can see here beyond the point B, the strain increases more as compared to stress. Beyond the point B, strain increases more as compared to stress. Point clear? And at point C, stress still point C, the point on this point, on this point, if we remove the deforming force, the wire does not follow the path from the graph. You can see CBAO, the path CBAO. So here it represent plastic behavior, and point C is called yield point. Point clear? So from the diagram, or you can say from the graph, for at point C, we can say at point C, for stress equal to 0, means for 0 stress without applying some deforming force, strain is equal to, from the diagram you can say OO1. It means this is the situation of permanent set. So the condition OO dash known as is known as permanent set. Point clear? So this region is known as permanent set region. So after this, when we talk about the fourth point, beyond this yield point, beyond yield point C, without applying the stress, strain is there. Without stress, strain increases to point D. So point, again I am writing point C is known as yield point, and the region OC dash is called yield strength. Point clear? So after this we will talk here about the next point. So the next point is that beyond this point T, beyond the point D, from DEF path, you can see the diagram, the thinning of wire start on removing, or you can say unloading the wire, and next end waste known as constrictions are developed in the weaker region of the wire. Point clear? So that at point E, OE dash is known as breaking stress, or you can say strength, breaking strength, and F be the point known as breaking point. Point clear, student? So this is the discussion of stress strain curve. I will repeat the whole discussion in front of you. So see, initially when the deforming force is applied on the given wire length, so as we know that on applying the force, strain is there. So when we increase the stress, then we will see that strain is also increases, but they both are proportional to each other. So from the graph we can say OA is the line which is straight line, represent us the proportional limit. This point A is represent us the proportional limit in which stress is directly proportional to strain and obey the Hooke's law 100% or completely. And after the point A, beyond this point A, if we increase the value of stress, the strain is increases more as compared to stress. But at point B, if we remove the deforming force, the body comes regain its original configuration, means follow the path BAO, and this point B is not follow the Hooke's law completely, but it is the elastic limit point of the material, means it represents the elastic behavior so that the body regain its original configuration. And after this, beyond this point B, if the stress values increases, but the strain will increase much more as compared to stress up to the point C. But at point C, if we remove the deforming force, the body does not, or the material or wire does not regain its original configuration, means does not regain its original length. Its length is little bit increased as compared to the initial. So here the point C is called our yield point. It means that this at this point C, at 0, we can understand here at 0 value of stress and y-axis, the value of strain is 001. Point clear? This 001 is known as, this region is known as permanent set region, and here the wire represent us the plastic behavior. Beyond this yield point, if we does not apply the stress on the given wire, we will see that strain is there. But after this D point, we will follow this DEF graph. We can see here, if this DE graph from this DE path, beyond this yield point, from this DEF path, if we talk about here DE, the thinning of wire start. If the weight is unloaded, or you can say the wire is unloaded, and the neck and waist are developed on the region, on, you can say the neck and waist are developed on that region in which the wire is weaker. Suppose that region is weak, it becomes thinner than other region. So those points which are weaker in the given wire, it becomes start thinner, so as compared to the other. So DEF region represent us, so here from D to DEF region represent us the thinning of wire, and at this point E, which is here known as our breaking stress. Point clear? So breaking strength, this point is known as BE. E dash point is known as breaking strength. So at this point, after that the point F is there, which is at this point the wire becomes break. So this point is known as our breaking point. So this is the discussion about the stress strain curve. So after that we will talk about the next topic. So for that, pause the video and note down. After the discussion about the stress strain curve, here we will talk about the elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy in a stretched wire. So listen carefully, student. If suppose we have a wire of length, suppose this is the weight of on the given wire. Suppose this is a wire of length supposed to be L, and on applying some external force on this wire, its length increases from L to supposed to be, this is the weight again, L to delta L, means on applying some external force the length of wire increases from the length L to delta L. Here the weight is not present in the absence of weight, but here the weight is present. Point clear? So on applying some external force, the wire length is increases to a certain limit or certain value delta L. So the work after removing, when we see here, after removing that deforming force, we will see the wire again regain its original configuration if we are applying the force in their elastic limit. But we will see here the amount of work done. Here we are talking about the potential energy in a stretched wire. So here we are talking about the potential energy which is equal to the amount of work done against this restoring force, which is here in vertically upward direction, means opposite to the applied force direction, is stored as the potential energy in a elastic potential energy in a spring. Point clear? So here we can define the elastic potential energy of a wire is defined as the amount of work done against the restoring force is stored as the elastic potential energy of or in the stretched wire. So let us explain the derivation for elastic potential energy of the wire. So here initially the restoring force is 0, F1 is equal to 0, because here no external force is applied. After applying external force or deforming force, let the increases length of the wire increases from L to L plus delta L, means delta L length is increased in the given wire. Therefore suppose in this condition, therefore let F be the restoring force. When we deform this weight or remove this weight, we will see here by this restoring force it will regain its original configuration. Point clear? Therefore average restoring force from, means here the force is from 0 to F, so average restoring force we can write here 0 plus F over 2, means F by 2. Therefore the same amount of work we will do, yeah, same amount of work we can say is our average external force. So amount of work done to increase, by definition, to increase the length of wire delta L from L to, means to increase this length for small displacement. W is equals to force into delta L. Force is here average force, F average we can write. So F by 2 of delta L. Now here we will complete this calculation. Now see, later on 1 by 2 F into delta L. Now we can divide both sides by volume, half into F into delta, or you can say wait V into delta L into V. So after this, half into force into volume A into delta L, or initial the volume of the wire is supposed to be a cylinder, so A into L into delta L into volume, you can write either A into L or V if you want. Here I am writing V. So half F over A into delta L over L into V. So we can write here half force over area is known as stress into this is known as strain into this is known as volume. Point clear? So this is the potential energy, elastic potential energy of a wire, stretched wire. Here you can see the heading, which is half stress into strain into volume. If you want to write the other forms of this formula, you can write. For this, pause the video and note down. So after this, we can write one more formula for this condition, EPE. But before that, you can understand this formula, Young's modulus Y is equals to stress over strain, because here we are talking about the potential, elastic potential energy of a stretched wire. So in case of wire, I will use the coefficient of elasticity Y, which is known as modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus of elasticity. So for this condition, I will use this formula. So I will replace stress is equal to Y into strain in this given relation. So EPE is equals to half Y into strain, and also one strain is there, strain square into volume. So this is one more formula of elastic potential energy. Clear, student? So on the basis of this elastic potential energy, we can solve one numerical. A stretched wire of length 4 meter. Initial length is 4 meter. Clear? In the length stretched in 2 mm, means increase in length is 2 mm, which is equals to 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter. The cross section area of the wire is this. Cross section area of wire is 2 mm square, which is equals to 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter square, because 1 millimeter is equals to 10 raised to the power 3 minus 3. So square of this 1 square is this, equal to 10 raised to the power minus 6. After that, Young's modulus we have Y is equals to 2.2 10 raised to the power 11 Newton per meter square. First we will convert all the unit in SI unit form. After that we will write here. First he told about to find the energy density, potential energy over volume. So we have potential energy half into Young's modulus into, you can see the formula here, strain square into volume and here volume is also there, so volume to volume cancel out. So we have the remaining formula, half y into strain square. So for strain we will see here, first half into y, 2.2 into 10 raised to the power 11 into strain. Strain means delta L over L. Cancellation 1.1 into 10 raised to the power 11 into delta L is 2 and L is 1, 4. 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 over 4 square 2 ja. After that 1.1 10 raised to the power 11 into 1 upon 2 0.5, 0.5 square 0.25. Clear? And this one is 10 raised to the power minus 6 and 1.1 into 2.5 into 6 11 5 and this one 11 5 ja 55, 11 2 2.75 or 2.8 into 10 raised to the power 5. This is our energy density, joule per meter cube. Point clear? And after that he said about energy means elastic potential energy. It is equals to, see here, the value of energy density into volume. Energy, this part, this is the part of energy density into volume. Energy density into volume. So energy density 2.8 into 10 raised to the power 5 and the volume is volume, we will have volume V is equals to area of cross section into length. Area of cross section we have 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 into length is 4, so 4 to the 8 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. So this one, area of cross section and length, so into 8 into 10 raised to the power minus 6, so 8 8 just 64, 8 to just 16 and 6 22, this one this and 10 raised to the power minus 1, so 2.24 joule. Point clear? So this one is the answer and this one is also the answer. So this is the type of solution of this type of problem which is based on elastic potential energy condition. So to understand the other problem based on this concept, first understand the method and how we will change the formula of elastic potential energy from one form to another form. Then after you can use it in numericals. Okay student, so to understand that, pause the video and note down.